Welcome to the Lighthome Sustainable Design podcast series. We talk with the architects and builders about green design and homes that really suit the way we love to live.
Lighthome took part in this year's Green Cities conference to hear from the experts about the latest green rating tool revolution.
Now I'd like to invite Andrew Aitken to give his presentation. Andrew is the Executive Director of Green Star within the Green Building Council. Andrew. Welcome, Andrew.
Okay, just before we start, I just wanted to get a feel of the room. Was there anybody in this room who was at the briefing that we did last year? A few? Oh, a fair few, okay. So everyone's here for the update. That's great. I have 15 minutes and there is lots and lots of information. So I have worked out that I'm unable to give you all the detail that I'd like to. But there are lots of documents available that do that. And I've got a couple up here, and you're welcome to grab one on the way out, or you can grab a copy from the Green Building Council of Australia booth at the expo later, and all the details are there. But we're going to very quickly go through now what we've done in the last 12 months and what we're looking forward to do in the next 12 months. So 12 months ago we announced a range of projects, about 25 of them, that we were going to do to address the feedback that you'd provided to us. Key message is you had great ideas and we really appreciate the feedback that you provided. So let's quickly go through those 7 areas of feedback that you've given us and how we have responded. The first area was we titled Easy to Use, because Green Star, the feedback that you provided, it was a bit hard. So we have introduced standard templates. We've started to do this so that the preparation of documentation is a lot easier. It makes it much faster, and it actually reduces the cost of preparing a Green Star submission as well. So standard templates are now available on our website. You can start to download them. Now, we didn't wait until we had templates for everything. We are doing it progressively. So as we have more templates available, they'll be added. We're also adding examples of successful submissions. Now, at the moment, you can download an example of the submission that the Green Building Council put together for its fit-out of its office space. We are working with project teams. As we go through and do an assessment, we are asking them whether they will allow us to use their submissions as examples. And so we're going to start to see other example submissions based on a credit that was submitted. So those sorts of things will start to be populated on our website as well. And one of the big changes that we are still working on, we have commenced, is taking Green Star, moving away from a book and an Excel spreadsheet and putting it as an online tool. So that it's more easily updated, all the information in one single place. And this work has commenced. It is likely that this work is going to take us a bit more time. There's considerable funds being invested in developing this online framework. But this one is coming and is going to deliver lots of benefits in making Green Star a lot easier to use. We're also reducing the number of credits. We looked at Green Star and identified that there are lots of things that deal with very similar issues. External views and daylight penetration are all related to the design of the building, the location of windows. So we're looking at ways that we can reduce the number of credits so you deal with the windows in a single step rather than dealing with different issues around the same building block. So I'll show you a bit of a diagram later of how that's coming together. To make it more efficient, online submissions is part of the online rating tool that we're developing. We're actually trialling at the moment online assessment. So people still provide us with a CD with their submission on it. Instead of mailing submissions around on CD, we have now introduced an online assessment process so that our assessors are now getting used to interacting online. So this is being introduced at the moment. Free area definition CIRs. So a CIR is a credit interpretation ruling. This is something where you can demonstrate that you've achieved the aim of the credit in an alternative way that's demonstrated in the technical manual we decided that these should be free. It shouldn't cost a project to work out how to apply Green Star to their project. It should be free. So this is a free CIR. And access to experts. We've changed the member area of our website, and now when you go and search our members, you can see how many Green Star projects that they've worked on, how many Green Star accredited professionals those organisations have. That information is now freely available on our website under members. To make it more cost effective, and I'm moving very quickly, and there's opportunities for detailed questions later, but innovation is now assessed in round 1 of submissions. So we have 2 rounds of submissions. We used to only do 1 assessment of innovation at the end. We've moved it to round 1 now, so you can have 2 bites at the cherry. You can get some advice about further quantification of environmental benefits that you would need to include in order to be awarded. So this has happened. Deemed to satisfy, rather than the complex first principle compliance requirements, we've started to develop deemed to satisfy requirements. Things that you can do much more simply to move through the Green Star credits using a tick box type approach. And the Green Star custom tool rating service has really provided a great opportunity for us to explore this on a project by project basis. I'll cover that a bit later. Pre-assessment of critical credits. We've been piloting this with projects so that, projects that are really concerned about getting all the energy points, for example, on their building, they can get that pre-assessed so that they get an idea of whether or not they're going to be awarded this point if they enter the assessment process. Rather than take the risk of 2 independent rounds, let's get a bit of an idea up front to make sure that this works. Any of you that were in the Green Star Communities briefing session this morning will see that some of these features are actually built into Green Star communities. So our new tools actually include these features that we're rolling out retrospectively across the other tools. Consistency. Big issue was inconsistency between neighbours, Green Star, and even the Building Code of Australia. So we are working together much more closely, as Matthew mentioned. Matthew and I meet at least once every 3 months. It's often more often than that. And our teams work together much more regularly. They collaborate on the development of new rating tools on both sides, through both organisations. And we also are working together with the Australian Building Codes Board and the industry to develop a common energy modelling protocol that can be used everywhere. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do the same energy model 3 times to satisfy the neighbours pre-commitment agreement, BCA and then Green Star. So we're looking to do this once. And everyone is working together collaboratively. It's taken us a long time to get to this point, but it is working very well. Common carbon metrics, just spreading out internationally. We are working with other green building councils around the world through the World Green Building Council to work out common ways of dealing with common issues. Carbon is the first one. Other common issues dealt with in rating tools include things like transport, water, and social indicators. We've all started with this very tight focus on the environment, and now we're moving broader than that. Assessor training and auditing. In order to improve consistency, we've started to audit assessments to make sure that the information that's being provided back to project teams makes sense. And so we're checking that first. We're making sure that it makes sense before it gets returned. Now, this is relatively new, last couple of months, but it is having an effect now where we have fewer questions coming back on those audited assessments. And through that, we can identify where the assessors need further training. And we will be implementing that going forward. 90% of our buildings are new, 98% of them are existing, and it's time that we really get real and focus not on the design elements only, or the as-built, but how those buildings perform in operation. That's the main game. And when we compare Green Star to the lead existing buildings operation and maintenance rating tool, which Niels Koch showed a little diagram, completely revolutionised the lead rating system in the US. We can see that there's a lot of similarities. One big one there is in the US, just like here we have Neighbours Energy. In the US they have Energy Star. Very similar relationship and very similar rating tools. And so they referenced Energy Star in their lead EBOM. We will be referencing Neighbours Energy and Neighbours Water and the other Neighbours tools in Green Star Performance. So the clear message here is, if there is a Neighbours rating tool that measures the impact that we're dealing with, That's the one we want to use. We won't be offering an alternative. You can use Neighbours Energy or you can do something else. If there's an issue with Neighbours, we are working with them, hand in glove, to resolve any issues. So rather than to say, look, we don't like the way that Neighbours Energy does something, we will work with Neighbours Energy to receive your feedback to resolve anything. We won't be competing or creating an alternative that's going to confuse the market or make this any more difficult than it needs to be. We're going to be very careful about that. So this is going to be released in 2013 with our online platform. This rating tool will not be released as a book and a spreadsheet. It will be released as an online rating tool. It deals with all building types in one rating tool. Green Star Public Building, as I said, we've been through a pilot process. The feedback that we've received is very positive. Very few changes required to this rating tool to release it. So our program currently has this being released in September 2012. Green Star Custom, we can make a Green Star rating tool for any building project. So that's anything. We have done Coles supermarkets, we have done mixed-use developments, we have done retirement living villages, we've done McDonald's, restaurants, and we've also done fire stations, which are an interesting building type. So really, we can do anything. And our marketing team removed the images of dog kennels and igloos and other things that we had on this slide, but it's true. We will rate any type of building. If you've got a building that you think needs a rating, come and talk to us, we can do it. And some people are pretty happy with it too. With McDonald's, it happened in 5 months. So we developed this rating tool for them in 5 months. 1 month later, they registered their first project. We expect to receive their round 1 submission in the next couple of weeks. Round 2 submission in the next couple of weeks. So you can see the gestures I'm getting from the staff in the audience. They know much more about it than me. So Jorge Chapa, you should stand. Custom, that's Jorge. Okay, so what's next? Green Star Interiors. We have had Green Star Office Interiors version 1.1 for a very long time. 2005 it was released. And we are going to be releasing Green Star Interiors in pilot form in September 2012. This rating tool will rate any type of interior fit out, not just offices. So we're looking at retail interiors, healthcare and education. We are working this tool up from the experiences that we've learned in Green Star Custom, and it will include the new materials calculators. And this diagram, I'm not sure whether you can see, but on the left-hand side up there, there's a very long list of blue-shaped boxes, and then there's sort of arrows and diagrams going across to a lot of white space with a few blues in there. This is the reduction in Green Star credits. On the left you have what we currently have, and on the right you have where we're going with this. Combinations of credits, we're going to reduce it significantly. This is going to deliver a single Green Star rating tool that can rate any type of space. It's not going to be broken down into offices and healthcare and education, because we know lots of buildings are mixes of these spaces. Lots of hospitals have lots of office space in them as well. And so we need a rating tool that responds better to the way buildings are actually designed. And this is the schedule. Green Star Custom is available now. Green Star Communities, June 2012, we will be launching that, and that will be in pilot form. Green Star Public Building version 1 in September. So if you've got a project that you think might be keen for a rating using a public building tool, get in contact with us. Interiors pilot in September as well, and performance as well as the Green Star single tool in 2013. So next year we'll be talking to you about those projects. Thank you.